On today's show, it's all over. Kawhi Leonard has been traded, and I'm going to tell you why this is a great day in Clipper history.
You are Locked On Clippers, your daily Los Angeles Clippers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, sir. You are locking with the Clips. My name is Darian Vaziri, also known as Dime Dropper, and today we are going to be talking about the biggest news you could ever imagine. Kawhi Leonard is no longer a Clipper. He has been traded back to the Toronto Raptors somehow for Brandon Ingram, Grady Dick, a 2027 first-round pick swap, two unprotected first rounders, one in 2031 and the other in 2033, and then two second rounders, 2030 and 2033. The news coming after Kawhi Leonard reportedly expressed to only want to re-sign long-term with two teams, the Spurs and the Raptors, the two teams that he played for. The Raptors obviously were willing to extend him. We don't know if any other team is willing to extend him or if Kawhi Leonard was down to go to another team. Somehow he wants to go back to Toronto, where he left at the height of his basketball career, having won Finals MVP in 2019. He goes back there, and the Clippers get two players and 5 picks. I think this is a great move for the Clippers. We have been waiting for a deal worth trading Kawhi Leonard for, and we finally got it. Everybody knows the Clippers, after trading James Harden and Ivica Zubac at the deadline, that we were starting to look to the new direction. It didn't quite make sense to have Kawhi Leonard stay. We didn't want to re-sign Kawhi, and I think we did the right thing. There's no point of going further in that direction with Kawhi Leonard. We're trying to rebuild. We know the window's closed with Kawhi. So we want to go a different direction. Kawhi Leonard saying, and maybe we were down to extend him, but we asked him to take a pay cut. He wasn't going to do that. So the only logical thing is this partnership has come to an end. And so we tried to facilitate a move. It really materialized in the last couple of days. And now Kawhi Leonard is headed back to Toronto for a feel-good story. I think it was a good move for the Raptors. Overall, they get a chance to compete again, replacing Brandon Ingram with Kawhi Leonard, which is a huge upgrade. And now putting him next to Scotty Barnes and RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley. For us, we needed multiple first-round picks to make this happen, and we got exactly that. So in that sense, I think we made out pretty well. We got 5 picks. In terms of the pick swap, from what my understanding is, we get the second most favorable of the 3 picks because the Thunder have a pick swap with us already. So I think we get the second most favorable from what I've heard. But wow, it's really all over. Kawhi Leonard is no longer a Clipper. Me starting my platform and being known as Dime Dropper has only been a thing with Kawhi Leonard on the Clippers. I don't know content creation without Kawhi Leonard on the Clippers. But I've always wanted this day to come. I've been begging for this day. Because Kawhi Leonard has extremely underachieved as a member of this LA Clippers team, and that's a very sad thing. 7 years have gone by, and we have 1 conference finals appearance to show for it. We got Kawhi Leonard with the expectation of having a championship, and it didn't work out, to say the least. Some of it his fault, some of it not. Some of it just bad luck with injuries. But overall, keeping Kawhi Leonard on this team was delaying the inevitable, which is that we are looking to move on, start fresh. That Kawhi Leonard and Paul George era was a failure. We now need to rebound. And having Kawhi Leonard on this team only holds back our younger players' growth and gives us a weight of expectations that we really, I think, don't need anymore. Not until we really are competitors again. In terms of the trade, Grady Dick, I don't have much to say about him. A lot of people are saying he's terrible. I know that he can shoot the ball, but I haven't seen him in large sample sizes, so I'm going to refrain. All I'll say is this about Grady. He was a high pick in the draft, right? This is a guy that's only 22 years old. He's 6'7", and he was the 13th pick in the 2023 draft. So he'll be going into his fourth year. In 2025, when the Raptors were terrible, he started 54 games and he averaged 14 points a game. This year, he played 76 games and averaged 14 minutes a game. I don't quite know if he was a consistent part of the rotation, but his shooting splits in every season haven't been very good. With this past season, he shot 42% from the field, 30 from three, but he did shoot 87.5% from the free throw line, so that is something that he is good at. In terms of, I don't think Grady Dick's going to be part of our rotation, but it's a young player. It's a lottery pick, so might as well hold on to him. And then Brandon Ingram, somebody who I'm a really big fan of, have been a fan of since he was with the Lakers. By the way, crazy day in LA with Kawhi Leonard and LeBron James both leaving LA after their lengthy tenures, and it's good. You get the mercenaries out of town. It's nice. It's the stands leave with them. I'll have something for them at the end. It's beautiful. But Brandon Ingram, I've always liked him. He's been a Clipper killer with the Pelicans for many years. But, he's not necessarily what we want long term. However, I'll say this. We basically got Brandon Ingram in his prime. He's 29 years old. He has 2 more years on his contract, and it's not the best contract. He's getting paid $41 million a year. I would say he's more of a $35 million a year kind of player, mainly because of his injuries. But what I love about Brandon Ingram is the obvious, the mid-range game. His size, he has the ability to get that shot up over anyone. He can turn over either shoulder in the mid-post. I love watching Brandon Ingram. However, he sometimes can be a very one-level scorer. Not very comfortable shooting threes, although he shot well from the corners this past season. Off the dribble, he doesn't really want to shoot threes, which I don't care about that as much. But what I do care about is that he struggles to get by guys just the same way I said about Kawhi, and he doesn't have the handle of Kawhi. So it almost feels like, yeah, he can explode at the rim when he does get by guys, but against the elite defenders, and we saw this in the playoffs against Lou Dort 2 years ago, he couldn't get to the basket at all. So it was kind of just one-level scoring, a lot of contested mid-ranges, and that can be hit or miss. So I don't think he's the answer, obviously, long-term, but he and Darius Garland are going to be an interesting duo alongside the rest of our young guys to try to keep us competitive in these next 2 years. And I'm excited to root for Brandon Ingram. It's just, if Brandon Ingram is your best player or Darius Garland is your best player, you're probably at best no higher than a play-in team, which is the reality of the situation that we're in. We were going to be a play-in team most likely, even if we had kept Kawhi. So now we're a little bit worse than that, but we get to hopefully develop our younger players with more freedom and less of a, conflict between developing and then helping Kawhi Leonard still be competitive in his window. Now he's gone, and I just can't believe it. After 7 years, the Kawhi Leonard era has come to an end. I think it's a good trade. A lot of people are saying that we fleeced Toronto. I don't know about all that, but we'll see how Toronto does. I think it's a feel-good story for them to have Kawhi Leonard return home and finish what he started. But I don't see the Raptors winning a championship. I just think that Kawhi Leonard, maybe he'll win a series with them. Scotty Barnes is a rising young player. We had nothing of the sort. So, we'll see. But coming up, going to be talking about why it is one of the best days in Clipper history that Kawhi Leonard is now gone. I got to tell you a little something about FanDuel. The biggest stage in sports is here, the World Cup, and every match feels like it has the potential for a memorable moment. One goal can completely change the energy of a game, shift momentum, and alter the outcome in an instant. That's what makes the World Cup the greatest event in sports. Anything can change in a matter of moments. And now FanDuel is giving fans another reason to stay locked into every match with every goal pays. Bet on a match and get bonus bets for every goal scored in that match. More goals mean more bonus bets. All you have to do is turn on your token. And man, we got some big games on Wednesday and Thursday. USA playing on Wednesday. Thursday, we got Spain against Austria. I'll be at the game at SoFi. Going right now, France is the favorite, especially after winning their round of 32 game like that. They are the favorites to win it all. Honestly, I wouldn't be mad if you put the bet on France right now. Allez les bleus. From the opening whistle to the final kick, let there be goals on FanDuel. Visit fanduel.com to get started now. All right, Clipper Nation. We're talking about an episode that I have been relishing recording for 3 years. Kawhi Leonard is officially not a Clipper anymore. You know, Clipper Nation, it's really sad that it's come to this. Like, genuinely, it's really, really sad that it's come to this. Because when we got Kawhi Leonard, I was one of the happiest people on planet Earth. Like, I could not stop smiling every hour of my waking day. I had people tell me at work, when I used to work at my summer camp, and in college when I went to UMass for my senior year, they said, Darian, we've never seen you this happy before. Like, I honestly know, I don't know if you should, it's healthy for you to keep smiling this much. It was out of body. It was like, you couldn't believe it. And I just remember seeing Kawhi Leonard hold up a Clipper jersey. It was one of the most surreal experiences of my sports fandom. I couldn't believe that the best player in the world, arguably, who had an incredible team built around him and won the championship, was at the top of the basketball mountain, willingly said, you know what? I want to play for the Clippers. I don't want to play for the Lakers. I want to play for the Clippers. That was just something that I couldn't believe. But unfortunately, the 7 years were met with disappointment, classic Clipper bad luck, a whole lot of drama in between, and what turned out being resentment from me having Kawhi Leonard on this team. And losing, I stopped support. I wouldn't say I stopped supporting him because I wanted the Clippers to always be successful till the day that he left. But if I was a fan of him in the beginning, he lost a fan of me during the ride. And I'm so thankful that it's all over, that the nightmare is over of having Kawhi Leonard basically run our franchise and hold us hostage every single year. And that's exactly what this was. You know, when a guy comes to your team and says, you know what you have isn't good enough for me. I need more. I need you guys to bring me a second star or I'm going to sign with the team that you really don't want me to sign with. That's essentially blackmail. It's player empowerment. It's using your leverage. Yeah, good for you. You know what it ended up costing Kawhi Leonard? A longer window with the Clippers, potentially a better long-term chance to win a title, and one of the best guards in NBA history going to Oklahoma City, kickstarting a potential dynasty. I know they lost this year in the conference finals, but they're one game away from the finals. They're going to get Jalen Williams back next year. They're going to be still competing for many years. And of course, the draft pick that ended up being Jalen Williams. Because you couldn't be patient. I always said, even from the beginning, while having Paul George is exciting, I would have rather Kawhi Leonard just joined our 48-win team that took the Golden State Warriors to 6. And then if he doesn't get enough star power help in the playoffs, we can retool, just like LeBron James did when he went to the Lakers. But no, Kawhi Leonard wanted to pull a LeBron in Cleveland and arrive with Kevin Love, a.k.a. Paul George. That move set this franchise back years, and we still haven't recovered. We still don't have enough picks. So for that, I blame Kawhi Leonard. But that being said, it's in the past, right? You had to perform. And in the first year, we had to watch Kawhi Leonard do his load management, not play the second night of back-to-backs because he still was recovering from the quad tendinopathy. And what did he do in the playoffs? In the bubble? Stink it up and basically quit in games 6 and 7 against the Denver Nuggets. And while I'm really thankful that we choked in the bubble because it brought the end of Glenn Rivers' tenure as coach, and we got that moment in 2021 in front of the fans for the first time, Kawhi Leonard's performance in the end of that series was pathetic for a player of his caliber. And everyone knew it. Everyone could see it. He went out sorry, like he didn't even care. And I remember everybody knows. I made my video spewing my guts out, the bubble rant. And I called him Kawhi Leonard. I said he quit on this organization in that series. And so the taste I had for 2-on-3 after that playoff series, the taste in my mouth from 2-on-3's experience was horrible. But then Kawhi Leonard redeemed himself the following year. It was a topsy-turvy regular season. He struggled with a foot problem. He got hit in the face on Christmas. But in the playoffs, the guy went Super Saiyan. Against Dallas, Game 6, he had probably the best game in Clipper history. It's just unfortunate that that would be the height of his Clipper career. A first-round game against Dallas. Game 7, I was at that game with cardboard cutouts on either side of me. He was fantastic. That vlog is on my Dime Dropper channel. And it's amazing how Locked On Clippers and my Dime Dropper channel are kind of like a library of what the Kawhi Leonard era was like in real time. I followed every step of this. From the first season of doing Dime Dropper, which ended in the bubble, every other year, I basically covered every game Kawhi Leonard played for us. And it was quite the experience. But you were always worried about an injury. You were always worried about something. Now, recently, it was the aspiration scandal. You just never could get comfortable. And then the shadiness with the injuries, which really started in 2021, right? He hurts himself against the Jazz. They say it's a sprained knee, holding out hope that maybe he can come back in the conference finals. Maybe he can come back in the finals. And obviously, none of that was the case because he tore his ACL. And I have to say that the best memories of the entire 2-on-3 era came without Kawhi Leonard on the floor. It came in games 5 and 6 of that second round series against the Jazz. And in the conference finals, being able to, be in the conference finals for the first time, he wasn't even a part of it. Yes, we wouldn't have gotten there without him. And for that, I will always be thankful. That is the one part I will be thankful for. Am I thankful that Kawhi signed with the Clippers? Not anymore, especially given that we might have gone onto the table to sign him. He wanted to be comfortable. He wanted to come home. He didn't want to play with LeBron James, and he didn't want to deal with all the, spotlight that comes with being a Laker. So he came to the Clippers so he could have control. He knew that we never had a player of this caliber before, so we're going to bend over backwards to every demand that he has. After the first season, we fire the coach. We bring in Serge Ibaka, his friend. And look, in 2021, had he been healthy, maybe we would have gotten it done. But my best memories of the 2-1-3 era were not even with Kawhi on the court. Point blank, end of story. And that's not his fault, but it's just a fact. And then he missed the entire next season, which is completely brutal. Even with all the injuries that Blake Griffin and Chris Paul had, they never missed an entire season. Although 2015-16, you could really say Blake, it felt like, missed that whole season. But Kawhi didn't play. And 2021-22 was fun, but it was kind of a waste of a year. It was nice to see Reggie Jackson, Marcus Morris do their thing, whatever, but it was unfortunate. And then the following year, I take over as the host of this show. I'm so excited that we're going to get this stacked roster with 12 guys that could play, and Kawhi Leonard's going to be back. And what happened? We start him out on a minutes restriction. He has a setback. And by the way, in 2022, they were bluffing that he could come back too, which I couldn't stand, that whole bluffing stuff, to keep the fans invested, to keep them buying tickets. It felt very manipulative. It was just, I don't want to say a joke, but it was messed up to the fans, in my opinion. And then in 2023, he has a setback in the beginning of the season, and they don't tell us that he's going to be out for a week or two. It ended up being out for 10 games. They were just like, he's day-to-day, which made Kawhi Leonard look soft and kept us thinking, is he coming back? Is he coming back? How long is he out? That stuff was very frustrating as a fan. Very frustrating that they could never be transparent with us about his injuries. And then he comes back, hurts his ankle, and is out again. And then we get to when he starts catching fire midway through that 2023 season. Then we get when I literally lost all my respect for him. And not all, I should say, because I still respect Kawhi's abilities, but The random games that he left in the middle of with no good explanation. Memphis on the road, where we came in thinking, oh, he's going to play. We'll see about the back-to-back. He gets taken out at halftime, plays the next night in the back-to-back. We lose both games. Ty Lue looks livid in the press conference after the game, not knowing what was going to happen. We still haven't heard a good explanation. Did his camp yank him in the middle of the game? Did Kawhi just decide to not play in the rest of the game? The second time against New Orleans, the game I went to, facial contusion. He stayed in the game after he got hit in the face for a while. Didn't have any mask or any signs of it hurting the following game. We're in the middle of a playoff push, and that's happening? How can I respect and root for you when it feels like winning a championship for the Clippers isn't the number one priority? You have to go down swinging. You have to give it everything you have for me. Because I love this team and I want to see us win a title. I want someone that's passionate about winning the Clippers their first title, not winning your however many title you have. I don't care about Kawhi winning his third title. I care about the Clippers winning their first title. And it felt like for Kawhi, and this is just, I don't know him. I talked to him one time briefly, not even talked to him, helping him to his seat at SoFi with his manager, whoever that is, his bodyguard. I didn't feel like Kawhi Leonard was desperate to win a championship for the Clippers. I felt like he wanted to be comfortable. He was going to try his best, and that was it. And that's not good enough for me. Not to mention that, and I've said this a bunch of times, he wasn't any sort of ambassador for this franchise. He doesn't rep any franchise with pride. He's a quiet, introverted guy that just does his own thing. But I think he said the word Clippers not even 10 times in front of a camera in his 7 years here. I want somebody who's going to rep this franchise with pride the way Chris and Blake did and show everyone on the look. See, if Kawhi Leonard not doing like the ambassador stuff for the Clippers, the way Harden did, for example, is not a big deal if he's actually playing. And even this year, I'll get to that. But even these last couple of years when he played, he didn't, end up doing anything in the playoffs, which is why we got him in the first place. So 2023, he gets injured against the Suns, tears his meniscus. Then he comes back, has a great season in 2023-24. I'm trying not to get my hopes up, and thank God I didn't, because even though we were the number one seed for a bit, he gets injured in the playoffs. We lose in the first round to Dallas. He's out for the majority of the following season because he went under the knife in the summer, and then he comes back only to not play well enough against the Nuggets, really after Game 3, but he didn't play well enough in Game 1 when he just lost the ball on the sideline against Jamal Murray. So he didn't play well enough in the playoffs. And then this past year, he's amazing, has his best regular season as a Clipper, and doesn't perform against the Blazers and the Warriors when it counts because he couldn't handle double teams well. He does not get by guys like this the way he used to and struggles to get off. I don't want to say he struggles to get off clean looks, but when you put some pressure on him, you get into his grill and you have a good defender that's physical and he can't back down, then things get tough for him to get off clean looks. And he doesn't move without the ball a ton. So, good riddance. We have 1 year outside of the bubble that we won playoff series with him. It's over. It's been over. And I'm so happy we're done. It was a nightmare. So coming up, what does our franchise look like now? Why is this so different and why Clipper fans need to understand what they're in for? Going to be talking about that coming up. All right, Clipper Nation, talking about, I still can't believe I'm saying it, Kawhi Leonard being traded from the Clippers. He did not retire as a Clipper. Yes. See, people were like, I want him to retire as a Clipper. If you want him to retire as a Clipper, you don't want to see us be able to move on. That's what I'm hearing, or I heard. Look, I get it. Some of you have sentimental value towards Kawhi. I don't understand how, quite frankly. Like, I love watching Kawhi play. I'm a sucker for the post game. I'm a sucker for three-level scoring, mid-range assassins, guys that play like Kawhi. Genuinely, I loved watching Kawhi Leonard play. But the tough part for me was after 2021, I couldn't get myself to be excited for him playing well in the regular season, because I was always like, is this going to happen in the playoffs? Is he going to be healthy in the playoffs? And the whole reason why I was so excited to get Kawhi Leonard in the first place was because he had a reputation for cooking in the playoffs, not because he had good regular seasons, because we had good regular seasons with Lob City. What we didn't experience was real playoff success. That's why when we got Kawhi, I was like, oh my God, we're going to win a championship. Like, we're going to win. We're going to win at least one. We didn't even get to the finals. We didn't even get to see Kawhi Leonard play in the conference finals. We didn't even get to see Kawhi Leonard play in front of a sold-out Clipper playoff crowd till 2025. Actually, no, 2024, game 2. But with him fully healthy, 2025. In total, we saw 3 games, 4 if you count the play-in against the Warriors, that a fully healthy Kawhi played in front of a sold-out Clipper playoff crowd. That's embarrassing. I know part of it is a pandemic. You can control that. And then injuries, but it's embarrassing. I'm so thankful the expectations of having Kawhi are done. I'm so thankful enough to worry about us doing everything to appease him. And listen, I'm going to be honest, Clipper Nation. We're going to have to be patient in this next era. This is not going to be a guarantee of a winning season this upcoming year. This is not necessarily going to be a good team. We're not going to be that great. We're looking at a potential starting lineup of Darius Garland, Keaton Wagler, maybe Ben Matherin, but I prefer Keaton Wagler. Darius Garland, Keaton Wagler, Brandon Ingram, Derek Jones Jr., and Brook Lopez. Not great. You have 2 star caliber players. You have your point of attack defender. You have your young guy, and then you have Brook Lopez. Hopefully we'll get Giannis in the mix there as the season goes on. But look, Clipper fans haven't been put in this position in a while. I guess maybe since 2018-19. We have to be patient. We have to realize that our goal now is to build with the picks that we have, to build Keaton Wagler. We're not going to be as good. And Clipper fans need to be ready for that. And a lot of Clipper fans joined during Lob City, so they legitimately have never seen a losing season in Clipper history, which is wild to think about. But we're the Clippers still. We're not above losing seasons. We came from the trenches. But now it's different. Now we have an owner that cares, that wants to see us succeed, that the front office is going to do everything in their power to get us back to contention. I actually think Lawrence Frank should stay now. I think he hit an absolute home run with these moves starting from the deadline. I really think that we pivoted in such a way. And how about all that for, we want to win with Kawhi? Total bullshit. We want to win with Kawhi. We were ready to move on. And I'm so happy that we were. But my point is, it's not your daddy's Clippers. We're not just going to be bad for no reason. We're not just going to be rebuilding for no reason. We're rebuilding with the goal in mind of getting back to contention as soon as we can. But to do that, we're going to need to let the young players make mistakes. We're going to need to let Keaton Wagler make his mistakes. We're going to need to let Kobe Sanders and Jordan Miller and Giannis make their mistakes. And that's going to involve losing games, right? We don't have the full incentive to lose because we don't have our picks fully, but be ready to lose games for the sake of development, Clipper Nation. This is going to be a totally different outlook than what we've had in the last couple of seasons. And I'm ready for it. I'm ready to support a young team that's ready to play hard. And that's that. I've been ready to support a team like this for a long time. Because as of 2023, I didn't want Kawhi anymore. I said we should have traded him 3 years ago. And we haven't won one playoff series with him since. However, he had just torn his meniscus, so his value wouldn't have been that high. This offseason was the highest his value was. So in my opinion, it was the right time to do it. I think we waited till the right time. Kawhi Leonard essentially played 6 years with the Clippers. He was on the team for 7, but because he missed the 2022 season, it was 6 years. He was an all-star in 4 of those seasons, 2020, 2021, 2024, and 2026. He won the All-Star Game MVP as a member of the Clippers in 2020. He was All-NBA First Team in 2021, Second Team in 2020, 2024, and 2026. He was second team all defense in 2020 and 2021 as well. So a lot of good individual accolades with the Clippers, but ultimately he fell short for me. Would I consider him a top 2 Clipper of all time? Absolutely not. That's Chris Paul and Blake Griffin in whatever order you want to put them in. He can be as high as 3. For me, he's not even in my top 5 because his tenure with the Clippers was overwhelmingly disappointing. Sorry. I'm so thankful, and here's the best part about it all. So anyway, I'm super excited to support a young team. I've talked about this for years. I just want a young team that's willing to play hard, that reps this franchise with pride, and that's it. And I did not feel as though that was the case with Kawhi Leonard. And now in a span of months, Kawhi Leonard and James Harden are gone. I was accused of being a Kawhi hater, a Harden hater for years. And I'm going to be honest, I don't hate Kawhi at all, but I hated having him on my team, not because I disliked his style of play. I, in fact, loved his style of play. It's just that I no longer expected anything to go well for us in the playoffs. For him to play as well as he did and then to play that poorly against Golden State, to not be able to handle double teams, not see the floor, not get enough shots up, the not getting enough shots up is very frustrating. He needs to take some tougher shots. Yes, I'm asking him to force it. Or I should say. Take some leaners double teamed. Take some fadeaways. Because we need to go down on a sinking ship with you, not anybody else. And that was something that really infuriated me about certain playoff exits with Kawhi, particularly 2025 and 2020 against the Nuggets. You're not shooting enough shots, bro. Just because you have a strong defender on you doesn't mean you should get pushed out so far away from the basket. Doesn't mean you shouldn't fight for post position. And I think a lot of it is that his legs go. So I'm so thankful, man, that this is all over. I said my goal is I want to stay host of Locked On Clippers past the Kawhi era. I want to talk about this team when Kawhi is gone. And all these stands that have been masquerading as Clipper fans for years can go with him. All you stands in the comments that have been terrorizing my comment section for years, apologizing for Kawhi Leonard, it's time to go join Sean Woodley at Locked On Raptors. He will welcome you with open arms, given that you helped him win a championship. I don't have the same appreciation. We shouldn't retire his number, not in my opinion, but some might disagree. And look, I'm not the fan police. If you loved Kawhi, you're sad about this, by all means, be sad about this. I'm nobody to police fandom, but I couldn't be happier. It's all over. I'm so excited to be a content creator and host of this show with nobody on the roster that I don't really like. Like, there's no one I have a problem rooting for anymore. It's the greatest feeling in the world. I literally love our entire team. Mr. Positive is here. I'm covering a team in which every single player I'm happy to have, excited to root for, want their success. I don't care about the stands anymore. There's no stands. I guess Brandon Ingram might have some. I don't know. But I'm just so thankful, man. Kawhi stands. You terrorized my comment section for years, masquerading as Clipper fans, which you're not. You never were. And now you're going to say, oh, the Clippers are going to go into irrelevance now that Kawhi's gone. No, it's just going to be temporary. We'll be very relevant again very soon. Because this is not your daddy's Clippers. They said the same thing after Chris Paul. Clipper Nation, this was a great day for our organization. It was a great day. We are now one step closer to being back in a contention. The nightmare is over. We don't have a guy who held us hostage, who made us trade our whole team, who made us go through a carousel of point guards to fulfill his desires of having a point guard. It's over. And no more quietness around his injuries. No more, you're the face of your franchise, doesn't really do, things to promote the brand. None of that stuff. It's over. No more disappointment. Although there'll be some disappointments in the future, of course. It's the Clippers. But I'm just so thankful and so excited that I get to cover this team without Kawhi, without anyone that I have a hard time getting behind. I just had a hard time getting behind Kawhi. I didn't want to root for him anymore because I just felt like it was never going to turn out well. And I was just so bitter about how he arrived and the 2023 stuff. I still haven't heard a good explanation as to why he left those games. I know what the media said. That was like, when a beat writer is coming up to me and telling me that he left for with no explanation, that's suspect. So, whatever. It's all over. It's not my problem anymore. Thank God. It's not our problem anymore. And do I wish Kawhi the best in Toronto? Not really. I hope he's healthy. That's all. I hope he wins nothing. Truly. I hope he doesn't win a thing. Am I bitter? Yes. Yes, I'm bitter. Nothing good happened for us outside of 1 year. Typical Clippers stuff. And now I wasn't always like this. The journey's been documented on Dime Dropper. I wanted him to succeed, but it didn't happen. So now, for all the people that say, oh my God, I don't want to hear you bash Kawhi anymore, you don't got to worry about that. I'm Mr. Positive now. Brandon Ingram, baby, welcome to LA. Grady Dick, welcome to LA. Keaton Wagler, welcome to LA. The Clippers are back. We're back, baby. We're free from the shackles of Kawhi. We got a bunch of young players. Let's get behind the guys. Go Clippers. Mr. Positive is here. I love everybody on the team. It's going to be an absolute pleasure to be the host of your show. It is. It's going to be incredible. We've all been waiting for this. No one's going to call me, oh, you pompous windbag. Dude, I like everybody on the team. What can you say? How can you say that? You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Dime Dropper Pod. Subscribe to my own YouTube channel, Dime Dropper, where I went live the reason why I didn't record this yesterday is because I had made plans to go watch all the World Cup games and hang out with my friend, have like a bender. And then Kawhi gets traded, so I'm celebrating even more. I go and record my live, and at the end of the show, I'm feeling dizzy. I'm like, there's no way I can record Locked On like this. So I was like, let me just sleep on it, give you guys on in the morning, and here we are. So apologies for the delay, but Kawhi's gone. Kawhi gone gin, baby. Locked On Clippers, free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure to get us up to 9,000 subs. Let's see. Are all these subscribers going to leave now that Kawhi's gone? Let's see. Let's see where the real Clipper fans are at. Let's see where the real freaking Clipper fans are at. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell to get us up to 9K before the season, Summer League starts. And you can listen wherever you get your podcasts. The age-old proverb continues. Go Clippers. We back, baby.